Hello everyone, welcome to the 2023 Arizona State Championships, presented by Discraft, your world leader in disc sports. We're here at Wilderness Ranch Disc Golf Course in Pinetop, Arizona, the eastern side of Arizona State. This course this year just reached number 1 on UDisc Best of Arizona. This is our final round, the back 9 coverage. Let's check in with our Ulibarri Leadership Institute scoreboard. Heading into the third round, Christopher Robbins had a lead over Bhrahsten, Waugh, Jeremy Novak, and Nicholas Duran. That is our lead card. The rest of these boys are going to try and chase them down. Currently going into the back 9, Christopher Robbins is setting at 12 under par, Bhrahsten, Waugh at 8, Jeremy Novak at 7, and Nicholas Duran at 1 under. And just like that, we're going to move into hole preview, hole 10, 349 feet. Straight out this gap, Mando to the right. You want to carry over here. This tree that's on your left right now is what we call the catcher's mitt. You beat it, the hyzer will fall in, and you hopefully have yourself a birdie look. Well, Nicholas Duran will be leading us off. He's setting at 1 under par. He's going to throw it right up the middle here. It looks like he's going to beat the catcher's mitt, and this should fall right under the pin for valet parking for a birdie. Here's Bhrahsten Waugh. He's currently at 8 under. He's the closest one to Christopher, keeping the pressure on Christopher. Let's see what he can do on this tee shot. It's got a good angle. He barely nips the guardian tree on the right. He's going to have himself an up and down for par, it looks like. We have Novak, the lefty. This is a righty hyzer, so he's opting for the forehand, and good thing the fire danger's down because he just smoked that tree. Well, Christopher Robbins, he's from Flagstaff, Arizona. I believe he just graduated from Northern Arizona University. Got a pretty good crew up there he gets to play with. Josh Johnson just recently, just before this round started, won the MP40 division, and he plays with him quite a bit. Right down the middle. This is looking really good past the catcher's mitt. And not quite the valet parking that Nick has, but that is very promising. Here Novak's going to opt for another forehand. Good touch, good pace. That should get him up and down for par. Here's Bhrahsten. Kind of catches that tree just a little bit. Bhrahsten to save par. It's good. Here's Christopher to go up another stroke. A little bit of a breeze. Oh no. He's going to want that one back. Well, Nicholas to get himself to 2 under par. He's always said he's a back 9 player, and that's a good way to get us started. Tap in for Novak. And Chris to tap in what is a unfortunate par, being he had such a good luck. Hole 11, 360 feet. Really works out to be a forehand flex shot, or you need to throw a really tight hyzer flip. To get to this point, be flipping up, running straight, and then you can come land right over here next to the Fibonacci sequence where the basket is, red wood chips, to get your valet parking. Nick's up. And there's that flex forehand we're talking about. And he just catches the old oak. He should be setting about 35 feet. Looks like Bhrahsten's going to opt for the forehand also. Bhrahsten's really got himself a really great backhand and a really good forehand. He's He's growing into be really an all-out good player. Well-rounded. It's breaking. That looks pretty promising.
Thank you.
I believe we missed the other 2 tee shots, so we're just going to move on up the fairway with the fellas. It's been monsoon season, so we've gotten lucky with this final round to only deal with a little bit of rain. Novak looking from about 60. It's up, it's hanging, and he just catches the flag. Here's Christopher. He's just on the outside of this little fence line. This fence line is not out of bounds. It's just there for looks. There he goes. That's a birdie. It's a great shot up the fairway. Good putt. He ought to start feeling better after what happened just over on hole 10. Made a very confident stroke there. Here's Nick for birdie. And Nicholas nails the birdie putt. Great putt. That's 2 down on the back 9. This is where Bhrahsten's drive landed. And also a great birdie. This is a great hole to get that many birdies on the card. We're going to move on over to hole 10. Take a look at this lovely green. A lot of help being made making it happen. This is hole 12, 296 feet. Pretty much a dead straight shot. Lefty or righty, you got to get out the gap. You got to get through here. It kind of favors a little bit of the righty because you can flex over a shot a little. Land right here about 30 feet and slide it in. It's either that or you just throw a dead straight shot. Here's looking at it once again, just from the back of the tee. You can see that the big pine on the left there has been chewed up quite a bit by early shots that have gone awry. Nick flexes one over. It's coming back. Not a bad shot. Bhrahsten pulls it over a little bit, but he might get a little bit lucky here. The card mates are always happy to cheer on. That's good to see. And Christopher stripes one down the fairway again. What a lovely shot. Well played. Novak has it off. That's also a great shot. Great touch. Bhrahsten from about the edge of the circle. A little bit of a ceiling here to contend with. And he leaves a little bit off of it. Nicholas from inside the circle. Looks to be about 25 feet. Oh, when he knew out of his hand it was a little high left. Christopher's about as close to being parked as you can. There he gets it. The guys are going to have to put in some work in the next few holes if they want to have a chance to catch him. He seems to be finding his pace, finding a way to get up and down these fairways. He's got a really tight game. His putting is coming along. He's not letting the mistakes get to him. There's Bhrahsten for par. And here's Novak with his park job. In for birdie. Let's move on to hole 13. It's 485 feet. One of the hardest holes on the course. You're really going to throw something nice and straight down here. And then at this point, the fairway begins to bend to this tight gap that we're going to fly through right now. Those logs on the left, they are not OB, they're there for looks. Most of the shots are going to land right in here. If you get a good one, then you're going to have to go under these bent over pines, over the down log, and don't go OB deep. Here we're going to have a little bit of a side cam view. Christopher's on the box. This is such a daunting tee shot. It demands a lot if you're going to get after it. This looks to be pretty good. Not a bad kick. He has a line through that little gap. Novak. He pulls the shot to the left a little bit. Nick goes with the forehand. The forehand is a really good option here. If you can keep it tight, you can have a chance at it. It looks like he got kicked off to the left. He's going to be in a tough position. Bhrahsten. Forehand also. I believe yesterday's round, he got himself quite a ways up there and actually got the only 2 that we've had on the hole in the tournament. Christopher making sure that his swing isn't going to come in contact with the tree. Oftentimes what I've noticed is when you have a tree that's kind of close like this, it actually helps you to hold your swing nice and tight. It can sometimes be quite a benefit, so you don't round or get loose with your shot. He pulls it to the right just a little bit. As we can see, he was a little nervous of that tree. Nick's going over everything. Out here on the left, it ends up being really jail. Looks like Novak's shot got here into the right-hand side of the fairway, so he's in a much better position than being on the left. Though on the right, there's still a few trees to contend with. They're going to keep your shots honest. He opts for a bit more of a spike. That should be in play. Bhrahsten's way out here on the left side of the fairway. It's really a lot of jail, a lot of small trees to contend with, far out of position. This is a par 4, so as long as you can get through the initial first part of this, you should be able to get up and down for par. Unless you can sneak one through everything, then you should be able to still get a birdie. He's gotten touchy with it, and he's put himself up there for birdie. Here Christopher is trying to work out how to get up and down for par. Goes for a little bit of a spike. Oof. Hit the fence. Nick swings it around the corner. And look at that. That is a sick putt. The young kid's getting excited. What a back nine he's putting together. So Novak for his par. Bhrahsten for birdie. And Chris for par. Well, let's move on to hole 14, 600 feet, very tight initial gap off the tee. You're going to push dead straight for about 250 feet, 280 feet to get past this mandatory. The first landing zone is right here. Second landing zone is here, and you will make a sharp dog leg left. Let's let the drone fly on through here. You're going to fly from that landing zone about 280 to 300 feet just inside this little nook to catch this basket. And Nick has laced one up the center. Very late tree, but he is pumped because that's a great shot. Bhrahsten here setting at 10 down. And he catches second available. Christopher's setting at 14 under par. Currently he has a 4-stroke lead. With Bhrahsten hitting early, he just needs to get this down the fairway. Such a demanding tee shot. That's looking pretty good.
Good shot. Thanks.
Novak at 8 under. Swings it in. Not a bad spot. You know in the woods you're out of position when you want to throw a forehand roller in the tight woods. It's looking a little bit early. That was a fortunate hit. He had run into the Manda wall, actually. There, about 40 feet in front of him, is the prime landing zone for the short part of the dogleg. It's not the optimum spot. That's where we're talking about. There he should be able to get up and down. Through the initial gap you want to get through, he should be pretty stoked.
That was awesome.
All right, Christopher's a little bit out of position. Didn't get all the way up the fairway, but he's made the mandatory. He's lying just to the side of the fairway. If he can get through this initial gap, he should be able to get up and down for par. If you're pressing, this is the time to really kind of figure out how to make some heroics, but he's playing with the lead right now, and he's got a good lead, and so he makes a wise choice. Flex forehand by Bhrahsten, just left it a little bit low. Nick's around the corner here. He should have a decent opening.
Oh!
The gaps here are just tight enough to keep you honest, and that one was pulling it and borrowing a little too much from the right side. Well, Christopher had pitched up, but he kind of left himself in a pickle. Patent pending. Pulls the shot over.
Good shot.
He should be able to get himself up and down from there. Nick lays out his upshot.
I can't even be mad at the ball. It's a little tall. Just the setup was too good.
In round one, that was 2 strokes on the field. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I think we played 5. Maybe it was
it was almost 6.
Yeah.
So you can hear the guys talking. This hole played in round 1 was the hardest hole in the course, and round 2 was the second hardest hole in the course next to hole 2. And Novak cards the lone birdie. Nick to tap in his par. Well, here we are on hole 15, 362 feet, a brand new position this year. The other position is little over 420 feet. We never saw hardly any birdies on it, so we took a chance and moved it to the right, give the players the last couple chances at birdies. A straight shot will guide you right down past the right side of this juniper. Most of the guys are going to opt for a forehand to skip around this corner and get themselves in position. Jeremy Novak right now is setting at 9 under par. He swings his shot out. Barely nips the trees on the left. On the left of the view from the tee, at least. Nick Duran right now started the back nine. He's got himself to 5 under par. This shot's running the right side of the fairway. Catches a little bit late. It should leave him about 40 feet. Christopher's lining up. He's at 14 under par now. Looks like he's lining up a forehand. It's on its way. It's low. It's got a skip. And that's within 20 feet. That's a great shot. Bhrahsten, he sent it on its way. Same story, about 25 feet. It's a great shot also. Nick is up first. This looks to be close to about 40 feet. And he knows he's got it out of his hand. Great putt again. Giving the basket a little love. Bhrahsten catches a birdie. Christopher's lining up. And it's in. He's getting harder and harder to catch. There's only a few more holes left, and these guys have a lot of work to catch up. Novak in for par. Hole 16, 599 feet. First test is to get under this big oak branch. We're going to fly out across the road. Great shots will get themselves out to about 400 feet, 450 feet. The branch there seems to limit shots. You can go wide hyzer out. This is your main landing zone. From here, you've got about 3 options. Left gap, middle gap, really tight right gap. If you're way out of position, you can try and spike something in over the top, but that's kind of playing plinko. Fairway comes uphill, swings to the right slightly, and here we have the basket. We're going to play catch cam from this one. Nicholas Duran's shot. Bit out of position. He gets around the Guardian Juniper on the left side. We have Christopher Robbins. He's setting at 15 under par. Seems to have a pretty good hold of this tournament right now. He's making really good decisions down the stretch, playing really good golf down the stretch. And this shot's a good average shot coming out the fairway. I should leave about 200 into the pin. Here's Bhrahsten. He goes out the wide hyzer. He's got an enormous amount of power though. So his hyzer shot pushes farther than most guys throw straight. Here's Novak lining up. The way the crook of that branch lines up, he can actually get a little bit more than most of the righty guys. Just because the branch is a little bit higher, he can push it a little bit. That's up into about the average position. Here's Christopher. He leaves it a little bit short. unfortunate honk in the middle of his swing. That comes dangerously close to going out of bounds. And Nicholas's shot flexes it in around the corner. Leaves himself a pretty good tap, close to a tap in about 20 feet. Here's Christopher's putt for birdie. Catches a little bit of metal, but it isn't going to be a birdie today. Novak lining up his shot. I believe this did go out of bounds. He would be putting for 3, but now he's putting for 4. Tester to save par. And it's good. Here's Nick for birdie. And he rings up another one. Climbing the leaderboard. He'd shot himself almost out of contention of a top 5 finish. This back 9 has really brought it back for him. Robbins for par. Here we have Bhrahsten for birdie. He's made good on that. It's going to be really cool to see where this kid goes. He's got a really awesome family out of the Northwest. His dad's just started a podcast called the Mind Side Podcast. It's a lot to do with how we think in disc golf. There's so much coaching out there right now on form review, form coaching, how to throw farther, but there's not much out there right now on how to deal with the mental side of disc golf. And so Bhrahsten's dad has started up this podcast. Check it out soon. Really interesting guests from yours truly all the way to Nate Sexton and Corey Ellis and others. So here's hole 17. It's only 200 feet mandatory left of this tree. You're going to throw a high anhyzer. You're going to want to come all the way back in. The road is out of bounds. You're going to float it right back in here to this landing. Really an old school MTA shot. Most of the time the wind is coming more of a headwind, so it's kind of this play catch with the basket, really. That is a good shot. Nick has got a great shot coming out. Flexing back in. Probably just a little bit deep actually on that one. Bhrahsten looks to be lining up a forehand. You have to really push a forehand pretty high to get through this. And he does. Really high spike. Clears the guardian tree, it looks like, maybe. Here's Christopher. We got really lucky with the weather the rest of the day. The clouds broke, the monsoon's chilled out. And these guys are going to get to finish in warm and sunshine. That looks like also a very good shot. It's panning back in. Here we have Novak. Also in position.
Good. See you, Waugh? Good. I don't know how far back it went, but it was good. It looked really small in here. You guys all threw pretty good shots. If anything, yours was slightly early, might be right here, but I couldn't tell.
Now it looks like everybody has found their tee shots. They all look to be really good tee shots on this hole. Nick's probably looking at about a 15-footer. Slight straddle. He makes good on it. Next up is Novak with pretty much a tap in. Bhrahsten will be coming up and making sure just close enough to not have to hit his knuckles on the chain. And Christopher Robbins is about 2 feet away from the basket. There is no 2-meter rule in this event, so he just will mark his lie and then take some time to get his disc out of the tree. Hole 18, teeing off of the deck. Gonna fly down here. There's rope left and right of this fairway. You're gonna come down about to 400 feet is when it's gonna open up into the throat of the rest of the fairway. That's gonna move to the left, fly straight down parallel with this road, and boom, here we are, Wilderness Ranch, hole 18, 757 feet. This is a daunting task to finish out the round. Good camaraderie on this card. I want to thank all of them for being awesome players and awesome representatives of their sponsors. Nick lays one out there pretty good. Bhrahsten's at 12 down. Looks like he saws that one off, unless he throws it far enough. And here, Christopher's at 16. He's got a good solid lead. He just needs to get up and down on this hole, play it for par or bogey, and he should have this thing sealed up. Bit of wind right now on the tee. He pushes it. That's going to come dangerously close to swinging out of bounds. And it does. Here we have Jeremy Novak, the lefty out of Payson, Arizona. This guy for the longest time was one of the major crushers of the disc here in Arizona. You can throw it a country mile. That might have been a country half mile this time, but we'll see.
Oh man, that's not even close.
Nick doesn't sound too happy with his shot. Here's Novak. He's probably looking at about 360 feet to the pin. Don't know if that's going to hold on. It looks like it might slide out of bounds. Looks like Christopher was out of bounds on his tee shot, so he's throwing 3. He's got it wide enough. That looks to be in the fairway. That's well played. That should be really close to sealing the deal now. That should be a pretty special walk to that, his next shot. You have Bhrahsten. He'll be throwing his shot. Throwing 3. Looks like he was out of bounds also. A bit of wind to contend with as we move through this hole. Forehand. Throwing it against the wind. The wind knocks it down. He should be able to get up and down from there. Novak pitching up. Here's Nick's shot. He may have gone out of bounds right there. Gives it a soft bid. Slides off the back of the deck. Christopher, he gets to lay up. He'll walk in for a tap in and a walk-off win. He's done most of the right things this whole round. He's stayed composed. He's thrown good shots. He didn't let his bad shots get in his way. And now here he stands, Arizona State Champion 2023, Christopher Robbins. Super stoked for Christopher. He made all the right decisions coming down the stretch. When he made mistakes, he didn't let those compound into more mistakes. He pitched out when he needed to. He made putts when he needed to. He was clutch on some of the drives. And now he gets to walk home with the championship. He's won here at the Wilderness Ranch before with the Top of the Pines Disc Golf Tournament. Now, here he sets probably the biggest win of his career. Congratulations, Christopher Robbins. Arizona's so proud of you, buddy. All of your Flagstaff boys are so proud of you, and couldn't happen to a better person. Christopher Robbins finishing at 15 under par, Jeremy Novak at 9, Bhrahsten Waugh at 11, and Nick Duran at 6 down. Here's your final. Christopher with the win, Bhrahsten second place, Owen Bear, Jeremy Novak tied for third. Nicholas Duran battled all the way up for 6th place for a top 5 finish. Thank you to everybody for watching. Check out our early bird sponsors. Without them, we could not pull this off. Also, thank you to Discraft, your world leader in disc sports. We couldn't have done this without them at all. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to Spinners on the Green, All Out Disc Golf. Please like and subscribe below. And finally, go out, do good work, be kind to one another, and get as many birdies as possible. If you want, stick around for the awards right at the end of these credits. See you guys next year. Jeremy Novak and Owen Bear in the tie for 3rd place.
Let's go.
I'm going to Owen Bear for the hot round. I'd like you both to be up here. For your playing. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Taking 2nd place, 2023 Arizona State Championships, Bhrahsten Waugh. Your Arizona 2023 Mempio State Champion, Christopher Robbins!
I love it.
You need to be chest to chest, though. Lock each other's eyes.
Go, bud.
Anybody you guys like to thank for 3rd place?
I'd like to thank my sponsors, Innova and Mando's Pro Shop up in Washington, and thanks to my girlfriend Lexi for everything.
First
First of all, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Discraft Underground, and a big, huge thank you to Pete, Marty, all the Wilderness Ranch, everyone who's worked so hard to get this course ready for us. It was amazing. I know we say it every year, but we're going to continue to say it gets better every single year, and this is a tournament I do not want to miss. So thank you guys so very much. It was great to see all of you guys. A lot of people I haven't seen in a while, like Bhrahsten, Jeremy, Andrew Bones around here somewhere. Good to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while. But yeah, thank you so much.
All right, everybody, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for coming to the ranch. If you guys would please clean up your campsites, leave it better than you found it. Sweep out your cabins and take your trash to the dump. See you guys next year at Top of the Pines.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Pete, for everything.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.